Am I the bad guy for expecting my boyfriend to take over my household's task while I was away? I went away for work for 3 days. Beforehand, I asked my boyfriend to plan a nice celebratory meal for Saturday when I'm back. I low-key assume he will also plan the meals until Monday for me not to think about it after coming home. When I came back, it turned out he literally only bought ingredients for the one meal. The fruit bowl was empty and there was leftover spoiled food in the fridge, which spoiled because he didn't eat it. It turned out he hasn't cooked a single meal during his 3 days, only takeout. When he was going to the pharmacy, I asked him to stop by a shop next to it to buy some fruit and check if we have all the ingredients for a meal I decided to cook for us to have something to eat until Monday. He hasn't read the list very well and forgot one of the main ingredients. At this point, something dies inside of me a little bit. I realize this man can't even be trusted to be left with a potential pet or a child because he needs to be told everything he's supposed to do. So, do I really expect too much of him, or am I the bad guy? And also some core info. I usually do the groceries, but we split the cooking about 50-50. We plan the meals together, but I'm usually the initiator of the process. I simply expected him to plan a staple meal for me to cook and 2 meals for him to cook. He only planned the one I exclusively asked him to cook. If not for me telling him to buy some ingredients as a part of the pharmacy trip, I would have been forced to go grocery shopping Monday morning before work. So write in the comments below, what do you think? Am I the bad guy for telling my smoking boyfriend he has to quit? English is not my first language. I apologize in advance for any mistakes. So, hello, I'm a female, 31, have been dating my boyfriend for about 4 months. It's going well, he's very sweet, we're both in for the long term. He's a smoker. Doesn't smoke that much, 5-6 cigarettes a day, but has been smoking since he's a teenager. I don't smoke, ever, never have. None of my friends, family, exes do. I'm really not a fan of the smell, or even just that he smokes. It's obvious that I don't like it. We talked about it, and I told him that I didn't like his smoking, but that was his choice, so I wouldn't nag him for the quit, not to do an ultimatum or stuff like that. Once he was telling me about his parents, how they always are very supportive, and he told me that 3 or 4 times a year he tells them he's stopping smoking. They are both very happy and congratulate him a lot. And he does stop smoking, but after a few days, he just starts again. I was not laughing and told him that I would personally not appreciate it, but he laughed it off. A month later, he had a big smile and told me that he had decided to stop smoking for me because he could see I was not happy about it, and he wanted to make me happy. I hesitated, told him that I was not asking him to do so. He didn't have to, it was his choice, but I was not like his parents. So if he told me he was quitting smoking for me, I would expect him to actually do it, not starting again after a few days. Was he really sure about it? He told me that he was quitting for real, so I was very happy and thanked him. And guess it, he started smoking again a few days later. I was really mad. He told me that he tried, but the habit is just really strong, so I shouldn't nag him. And basically, I should just be happy that he at least tried. I think his actions make him a liar who will tell me stuff that he doesn't mean to make me happy on the short term, but he won't follow through. So I cannot trust him when he says he's going to do or not do something. I should reconsider the relationship. He thinks I can tell him what to do. This is his choice, and I will be the bad guy to do an ultimatum. So what do you think? Am I the bad guy? And also forgot to mention, we live in a country where there are many helps to stop smoking for free. When he told me he had started again, I offered we look into those helps. He never used them in his previous tries to stop, so they might work. He immediately dismissed it, saying I was nagging. That was his business only, and I should not meddle. I'm not the bad guy for kicking people out of the Uber after they disrespected my home country. So I'm an Uber driver living in a place with not many Arabs, Muslims, and I'm from Morocco. Yesterday I picked some people up and everything goes fine for the beginning. Then they started talking in Arabic to each other, thinking I don't understand them. After a while, I heard them saying all Moroccans and Algerians who live here are disgusting witches who don't make enough money, so they have to be Uber drivers, while we are here being rich. At that moment, I went and pulled it over and started repeating saying get out in Arabic. The people refused to get out for a good minute or two, but then they finally left. Today I got a message from my company, Uber, saying that I was in trouble and I was gonna get fired and blah blah blah. Turns out these people reported me, and in the report they said that I randomly pulled over and let them go because I was going to go and get drunk, which is not true. I'm mad since I couldn't have just stick it up, but instead I decided to react in this kind of way. So, am I the bad guy? Am I the bad guy for choosing my sister over my girlfriend? My girlfriend and I have been together for almost a year now. Our relationship has been great up until now, and we are in for the long term. We don't live together yet. My girlfriend lives in an apartment with some roommates while I was leaving my house that I bought 2 years ago. About 6 months ago, my younger sister started to attend a college in the city about a 20 minutes walk away from my house. My sister is more introverted and doesn't like the typical college life of living in a dorm with other people and being surrounded by partying and alcohol. Since I live so close by, she asked if she could move in with me for her first year until she meets other people she will be comfortable with sharing an apartment. My house is pretty big, so there was no reason not to let her stay with me. So she has been living with me for almost half a year. She has her room at the second floor that was previously empty, while I do pretty much everything on the ground floor and first floor. My girlfriend has been talking a lot about moving in together recently, and I am completely on board with that. We were even making specific plans on when she will be able to move in, and everything seems to be going smoothly until she out of nowhere asked me when I'm going to make my sister move out so that she could move in. I told her that my sister will move out eventually, but then she isn't moving out for at least 6 months and might even stay longer if needed, and that there is plenty of room for 3 of us without getting in each other's way. This somehow riled my girlfriend up, and she started telling me that she doesn't want anybody living with us and that my sister needs to be an adult and live on her own. I told her that I made a promise to my sister and that I'm not going back on my word. This turned into an argument with her telling me that she wants us to live alone with nobody else around and me explaining that I can leave my sister hanging. I tried to reason with her, but she kept repeating this, so I told her that I'm not making my sister move out, regardless of what she's going to do. She got emotional and started to tell me that I'm choosing my sister over her and that what I'm doing is wrong. So, am I the bad guy? Am I the bad guy for cutting my hair against my mom's wishes? I'm the only daughter of my mom, and I recently cut my hair at home against my mom's wishes while she was out of state. For a bit of relevant background, I'm the only girl out of 4 and also the youngest. Ever since I was a toddler, I've had long hair. About a year after my dad died, I convinced her to let me go shorter, right around my shoulder blade. Shortly after this, me and my mom moved and I had to go to a new school. Now, here in America, there is this sort of club some high schools have that mean to instill military values into those who participate, and I'm one of those. This club has you wear a uniform once a week, and depending on what branch the school is connected to determines your hair regulation and the uniform you wear. These uniform days go towards a grade. My original high school had me wear my hair in a bun, so we kept my hair long there. But at the new high school, I had the opinion to wear my hair in a ponytail as long as it was short enough. I also have a mild insomnia. Now onto the actual incident. My mom and her boyfriend are co-owners in this business, and the work requires them to go out of state. We live within walking distance of my school, so they usually opt to leave me at the house by myself. During one of these, I had one of those uniform days. My hair was growing out, and I had been asking my mom for a few weeks at this point to get a haircut, but it never happened. For the last couple of weeks, I had been putting it in a bun with the help of my mom because it was so long. I cannot put my hair into a proper ponytail by myself. The best I can do is a lazy one where the hair tie is on your neck, and my hair was so long to do that. With my insomnia, it's usually worse at the beginning of the strips. I hadn't slept the night before. At about 5 a.m., 2 hours before I would usually wake up, I was paranoid and started freaking out over my hair. In the end, I ended up cutting my hair to a length that was shorter than my mom would like. I feel it's a good time to add that I have wanted it cut above my shoulder for a while now, and my mom would never let me. The haircut wasn't bad at all, and I was actually kind of proud of myself. As soon as I got home from school, I called my mom and told her what I did. She yelled at me about how it was a violation of her trust and hung up her phone. When she got back, we got into a huge fight with her doing most of the yelling. I had tried to have a calm discussion about it. She was upset because I didn't talk to her about it first. But when I asked her if I had talked with her about it first, would she have let me cut it how I wanted? She said no. I would also like to add that anyone who knows my mom has agreed with my actions. I also cannot get a job to pay for my own haircuts. So, am I the bad guy? Am I the bad guy for posting my landlord's number on Facebook? Hi, so I'm a first time renter of a property I've rented for over 1 year with zero problems with my landlord, paid rent on time, kept the place clean, etc. The place wasn't perfect, but it's shelter. I'm paying 1,006 a month for a 2-bedroom townhouse. Upon moving in, I discovered we had a major roach infestation. I reported the issue to the landlord, and his response was like, "Hey, I will tell your neighbor to clean up a bit." I invested in an exterminator and had multiplied treatments and wrote statements to the landlord explaining that for proper treatment, all the units will have to be treated. This week I get bombarded over things beside my car being in the garage. The garage is not for storage. I explain I will clean it out, and he then complains about my trash cans overflowing. Like, did you want me to clean the garage or not? Our heater also went out, and I didn't want to be cold, so I sent him a text, and his response was, "I would rather have a vacant unit than fix your heater." I threatened eviction, so I then posted his number and email along with proof of his wrongdoings all over local groups pages on Facebook. He's now being messaged by about 100 people according to him. So, am I the bad guy for posting my landlord's number on the Facebook? Am I the bad guy for not lending my parents money? I didn't come from the wealthiest family, but we have always made do. I recently quit my job and I'm making do with that. I have left of my savings before I started new. I pay for my own health care, clothes, food, and so on. My mom recently asked to borrow 100 euros with the promise of giving it back on Wednesday. I can't afford to do this. I wouldn't be able to afford to go to school the whole week or get to my new job since it's out of town. This isn't the first time they've asked for money, and I've had enough. They owe me hundreds of euros. Neither of my parents are currently speaking for me, calling me selfish for not wanting to help put the dinner on the table. I feel guilty and like I should